to Court Captains, the volleyball podcast,
where we talk all things Pro Volleyball Federation.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Ian.
And today we're talking Atlanta is back on top. Number one.
And since we have your attention, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Court Captains Pod. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for coming back.
Look out for us in the chat.
Yes, the YouTube chat.
Yeah. We had a really fun thing happen this week where Nikki and I were both in the chat, but Nikki was having IT issues. And our wonderful, wonderful chat mates were really trying to help her. They're like,
I appreciate it.
I am in IT. I will help you. And then at the same time from the same account, I'm like, great hit down the line, Chaussee. Yeah. And Nikki's like, it's not working.
I know it's a corporate laptop, but why did it used to work and now it doesn't anymore? Can anyone help me?
Anyway, so if you need IT help, I think that going into the YouTube chat of the PVF games
could be a good move. Although to be honest, they didn't fix it for me. But I might never be in the chat again based on the fact that I don't have a personal computer, you know?
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Kelly will be there. It's a new era. All right, well, speaking of the chat, a request that we've gotten a couple weeks now is essentially would love to know your all-star team or your dream lineup based on players currently in the league. And we have a plan for this. We're thinking that we're going to do a mid-season all-star team. Yeah. Probably not a draft. We're thinking just like, what's your ideal 14-person roster?
Oh, so we can overlap.
I think we should. I think we should
debate going on some of them. You know?
Yeah, and that could be interesting. Like, who are our overlaps? You know, what do we feel like?
Yeah. All right.
Where we're aligned and where we're different. So we're gonna plan that. We're in. What did we calculate? It's week.
We're
this
talking
is
about
week 6
right now. Yep.
And then next week will be week 7 of play. So, and it's 16 weeks to playoffs total. So we'll come at you with that dream lineup, all-star team, in a couple weeks, a couple more episodes.
Yeah, look out for that pod.
And towards that, PVF, incredible stats. I just want to say, good job on the stats website. We're getting a lot of nice things on the website. One thing that I would love to see would be like just a individual player stat sheet so we can compare everyone's season statistics up to this point.
Yeah.
That would be valuable to me. You know, I'm in the mode of fantasy baseball now. The drafts are happening. So I need a lot of data that I can plug into Excel sheets. They can analyze when I should be doing other things.
Well, it's like a very common thing in the NCAA is like comparing players across the whole season. And like,
so we're asking for individual all total season stats.
Yeah, like I want to see how many assists is Tom Com at for the season now.
Yeah.
Season stats. You know, I have to say, I'm pretty sure that there are good people of Reddit who are delivering this for us. I will locate the link, but in the PVF subreddit, I have seen an Excel Google sheet that someone is maintaining with this information. So
maybe we can link that in the episode notes as well.
Well, that's a great idea.
If we locate that.
I do think it's there. Again, I don't think it's coming from PVF. I think it's from a fan who's consolidating all of this data. Of course, we would love it to come from the league, but we are very appreciative of the subreddit. So I'll find that for you, Ian. That can maybe inform our all-star.
That'd be great to talk about when we talk about our all-star teams.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm always up for some fan graphs type of content, so we'll take a look through there.
All right, well, match by match analysis. We're coming for you. I believe it was 6 matches in week 6, starting with a doubleheader.
3 times.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. We're really.
Remember at the
putting
beginning
people
when we were
through it.
complaining, why haven't they played yet?
And now it's why don't they get a break?
Yeah.
Again,
Aren't
schedules
they
are
tired?
kooky. Schedules are kooky. But we started with, and did San Diego host all? Yeah, they had 3 home matches. That means the arena schedules are kooky. But either way, 2 matches on Leap Day, doubleheader. First one was Omaha at Atlanta. This was their second meeting. First meeting, January 24th. Atlanta took it in 5.
Yeah, and this time Omaha came out big. Road win in straight sets against the Vibe. We said the Vibe are back on top, obviously. I think that might be because of the alphabet. Because Omaha sits at the same record atop the standings with them. Yeah, you're trying to juke Omaha. I won't have it.
Oops.
With this victory.
I mean, it really just shows that I looked at who was first, who was last, and that was it.
That's
and
true.
That was the end of that.
And that's absolutely what I did. And I continued on with my day.
Well, yeah, so this one, Omaha won in straight sets in Atlanta. It was still, all these games are close, but the first set was 25-22 for Omaha. The second set, a little wider of a gap, 25-20. Then they finished it off with another 25-22 set. Atlanta still not losing any 2-point sets there. They kept it at 3.
I mean, Atlanta was off last weekend, and I have to say, I wonder if that is the cause of this.
Rusty.
A little sleepy. A little
sleepy.
Took a little break.
Yeah.
I was surprised by the outcome, though. And I know that all the sets were close, and we've talked a bit about sets being close, and it kind of goes either way, and things are working on both sides. But a sweep was not at all what I expected from this match.
I thought that there were just like those little things that Omaha just did a little bit better. I think they won aces 7-2. They won blocks 9-5, and I think the Vibe had 7 reception errors. And Omaha doesn't really do that.
They had the same hitting percentage.
Yeah. Good call outs on the differences, though, Ian. Like those do make a lot of difference to the momentum. I thought on the Atlanta side, Allie Linehan has sort of not been getting it done.
And Leah didn't have a good game either.
And same thing, like Leah was not the force that she usually is. Yep. Allie Linehan, like, coming out so strong. Week 1 player of the week. Injury, creating a curse. And then maybe just hasn't been back from the injury all the way, because I haven't seen her impress in the same.
Yeah.
She's had a couple of good sets, I think, but really hasn't impressed as she did in the first week.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Lazareva's hitting great.
Yeah, she had an amazing week. I mean, so she's player of the week.
Yep, we buried the lead again.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing.
We're recording on late Tuesday nights, and that means that we know who the player of the week is before, and we can't do any predictions.
We can't do predictions. I mean, maybe we need to get our lives together and post our prediction on Monday. Yep, and maybe we could even do a poll.
Ooh, love a poll. Yep. New content alert, everyone. Go to our Instagram at Court Captains Pod. We will be doing story polls for Player of the Week on Monday night, Tuesday morning. Maybe they usually release Player of the Week from the league Tuesday evening.
Someone in the chat asked me this week, "Oh, what are you thinking? Who do you think is going to be Player of the week?" And at that point, I hadn't watched some of the games.
What if you were like, and at that point, I hadn't watched anything, so I had nothing that I could tell them.
I only watched like 2 of the 6 matches, so
I had no idea.
Yeah, and so I said that I was like, so haven't watched them, so really have no idea. However, really pulling for a setter or a libero.
Oh, always, and yet again, nope.
So sad. Anyway, I will say Lazareva though, amazing. She is. Yeah. So fun to watch.
She is very fun to watch. In this match, she hit 390, had 15 kills.
Threw a couple aces in there, too.
20 digs. More than anyone else on the team. That match.
Yeah, and
then a big D.
Leah Edmond had the 10 kills, but I think she also had 7 errors hitting. She was she had the negative hitting percentage this game.
Yeah, four errors hitting, 7 times got blocked. Is that how we
7
read that?
times
I don't know why I.
blocked.
So she
Yeah.
had 11 errors.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
11.
So she
Okay.
was blocked 7 of the 9 blocks that Omaha had. 7 of them came off of
Oh boy,
Leah
Oh, wow.
Edmonds.
Wow.
So
Who
they had
was that?
they had that read on.
Yuchkova.
Tori Dixon had 3.
Yep.
Vuchkova had 5. So
Yep.
Middles had her
Middles.
number, as we
They did.
like to say.
Okay, that's something the announcers have started to say.
What?
They calling their own number.
Calling their own
It didn't happen
number?
in this match, so maybe I'm jumping the gun on this. But
When they don't set it to someone, they just hit it.
Yes, the setter doing a dump, they'll be like, oh, they called their own number on that one.
I'm sorry. That just doesn't make any sense, even when we did place phone calls.
I think it's more the number of their jersey.
It's no, don't tell me that. That's so embarrassing. having a number means having their jersey number?
Yeah, like calling on your own number.
You said phone, and I was like, oh, that makes more sense what I was thinking, which was
What did you think it was?
They're stamping their own letter.
Well, no, it was because in volleyball you call the number of what you want to hit, and so it's the person calling their own number. I don't know.
Too. That makes sense too. I've just heard it in other sports as well.
See, that's why we love that you're here, because you can embarrass us in this really succinct, immediate way. Like when Kelly thought that Atlanta was first in the standings and it was a tie, and when I thought it was a phone number. Then it's important, It's important that we're checked on our shit.
Yeah, and honestly, while we're talking about things that happen in other sports,
hell of a segue.
This also happened in a different match, but it's too perfect to bring it up now. The announcers were calling it the red zone, and I know that it's a football term, so I would like you to tell me what the red zone is, and I will then explain what the announcers were even referring to.
Sure. So it's not a volleyball term?
No,
they were just making a football reference? That doesn't make any sense to me on the surface.
Nope, never heard of it. So
never heard it in my life.
Zone, the red zone, right? It's a 100-yard field. The red zone is if you're 20 yards or closer to the end zone that you're trying to score into.
Okay.
But there is no, you're not moving up the court in volleyball.
Right. So this is what the red zone is. It's when according to what I deduced from these announcers, it's when you've reached point 20 in the match. So the last 5 points is the red zone.
Last 5 points.
You're in the
That's
red
weird
zone.
because then both teams can be in the red zone at the same
they
time.
They said it in every single set. I was.
Stop trying to make
which match that was?
Stop trying to make fetch happen PVF announcers. It's not going to happen.
It was Fury versus Orlando, and it was the Orlando announcers who were doing this.
Yeah, I think that's coming. That's ringing a bell.
They're like, listen.
I mean,
there's
I
some
don't know what
football
I
people
want
watching
them.
this, and they won't understand unless we use their lingo.
I get it. You're like in the final push. I get it.
Yeah.
In basketball, they might call it winning time.
Oh,
They would.
They would.
Yeah.
They would.
Winning time. Like we're late in the game. This is when games are won and lost. Which is not. You can be at the red zone in football at any time of the game. Doesn't mean it's the end of the game. The 2-minute warning is
just
the end
means
of the
you're
game.
within scoring distance.
Right.
I don't know what that's about, but we're figuring it out over here.
This is a good segment, which is us trying to figure out sayings based on context clues.
Yeah.
I still don't love it.
No, it's just something to say.
Yeah, it's
just something to say.
Something to say.
Something to say.
Which what are we all here for?
Like bagel.
Us right now.
Hey,
saying
this podcast, it's just something for us to say.
It's just something to say.
Red zone.
Something to say.
I have a couple more observations from Omaha at Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hear it.
In the setter realm, we had 2 setters who have not been the starters from the beginning of the season. We've seen them here and there, but we had Marley Monseri setting for Atlanta, 5-1, and Natalia Valentin still setting for Omaha instead of Sydney Hilly. That seems to be working for them.
Yeah, they found what worked.
I thought Brooke Nunneveller played great defense. And she and Bethania passed pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the consistency there from your two outsides and your libero playing back row really consistently is what starts your momentum and your points off with like a really good first touch. And then everyone feels like they're more in system or not as panicked. So that kind of makes sense why they were able to sweep based off of that good energy. Of course, the only time I don't say the word vibe is for the vibe, which is confusing. I use the word vibe all the time. Not here. Energy.
It's too easy.
It's too easy. I don't want to be punny all the time. No. I thought this was a surprising output, but still a good, close game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after that match was Vegas at San Diego. This was their second meeting. The first was on February 19th. Vegas in 3.
This time, much closer, although it started out looking kind of the same for Vegas. Vegas ended up taking it in 5 sets after the Mojo came back after losing the first 2 to win the 3rd and 4th set, force a 5th set. But Vegas ended up finishing it off there. They won the first 25-23, the second 25-20, and then lost 19-25 and 27-29 to the Mojo before winning 15-11 in the 5th set to take the match.
Notable absences from this match. Hannah Maddox was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Molly McCage was on the injury reserve starting this match and then through the rest of the week. On the Mojo side, that was from Vegas. On the Mojo side, August Rasky started setting and went down in the first, I believe.
Yeah, and I think they just put her on the injured.
Mm-hmm. And then on Mojo, Temi came out after the first set as well. But I'm not exactly sure what that was about because she played later in the week. So I don't know if it was an injury. She traditionally has been their best hitter. She didn't hit incredible that first set, but I don't feel like it was ever confirmed why she was taken out.
I think
they switched.
I don't think she was performing very well.
No, but it's just one set. Either way, I think they subbed in Valeria Papa for her, which they've been trying to get Papa in the mix. There's our personnel report.
Yeah.
A weird one for me watching that game was like the Mojo ended up with 14 service errors.
It's a ton.
But in a weird way, I think they had like those first 4 sets, they lost the first 2 with 3 in each set. The next 2 sets they won, they had 8 combined. They had 5 in the 3rd set, and they won that set.
Yeah, so it's almost like you can't say like, oh, that's what lost in the game.
Well, yeah, like, oh, that's why they did it. Like they had a lot of service errors, but they got through that twice. They had their most service errors in the set. They won 25-19.
That's bonkers to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a weird thing to me where like that they didn't serve great the whole game, but it didn't seem like that was necessarily a huge part of why it went bad for them.
It just makes the rest of your play so much harder when you get in your own way like that and give points away. Like it must have meant that their hitting really had to get more efficient or their blocking really had to, or their defense. Like you just put all of this pressure on other parts of your game that might result in those other parts of the game like running out of steam to some extent. It's interesting that those errors, we didn't see them directly 1-to-1 contribute to losses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, they did. You're right. Like that 3rd set that they won 25-19, they had half of their aces for the game in that set. While they had their most service errors, they hit really well. I think they hit almost 400 that set. So it's just a little bit of a weird statistical anomaly, I guess, for them that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you see the way that forces them to overcompensate in the other stats.
41 block touches from the Mojo too.
Yeah, so many from Ronica Stone. 15 from Ronica Stone. That's
a lot, it seems like.
I don't know if I initially said this on the podcast, but I was like not initially impressed by Nutsara Tomcom. I am now convinced that she is the best setter I've ever seen.
It's pretty
180.
She had a pretty nasty couple of weeks.
I understand.
Okay. You've gotten to know her.
Yes. And now
You've
I see
perceived.
so as we said last week, they really had to slow down their middles and then it started to click, and this week they actually sped them back up. Now the middles are
Hmm.
running fast, and
Mhm.
they are connecting, and it's very fun to see. And what that makes me believe is that Nutsara is a shorter setter, and I would guess a lot of these players maybe have been used to playing with taller setters, and it was an
Hmm.
adjustment. And I think that's what we're seeing is that they're slowly adjusting to this new setter, and I think just as a team, just trying to gel better.
I love that observation. I
Yeah.
think that's highly astute. I
Well, and this was the game in a loss that I think she set the season record for sets in a game for a person. 64, I think, was this
uh-huh.
game.
Assists. Not even just sets, assists. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've been in the practice gym. They've been figuring each other out.
Hmm.
They were the last to show up to report to preseason.
Yeah.
It's making some
Yep.
sense.
Yep. They're figuring it out.
But in the end, they did lose, and a big part of that was Cat Bell. She
Speaking
had
of
28
match
kills on
records,
300. Yeah.
I think 28 kills
Whoa.
in one match early this week at that point was the record for most kills in one match in the PVF history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only one other person on their team, Gabby Gonzalez, was in double digits for kills. So they just kept going back to her.
Yeah.
While we were making requests to the PDF for their website, I would love to be able to click on a name and it take me to
Mm.
that person. So maybe as they're building out the individual stats cumulative to date for a person, they could also add that ability. So then I could click on the person and then it would take me to their page.
Their roster page.
Yes. And then I could see their stats forever.
An innovative idea, Kelly. Thank you for making that suggestion.
Thank you.
I'm not even being facetious. I mean, like, it is innovative because they aren't doing it. So
Okay.
thanks for your consideration, PVF.
So yeah, I mean that was without, yeah, like you said, without Hannah Maddox or anything,
Or Molly McCage.
Yeah, Berkeley
Cat
Oblad
Bell's stepping up to
continued
the plate.
consistent, but
Berkeley Oblad as well. Hit 400,
She's fun
8
to
kills. I still
Great.
think, obviously, Gabby Gonzalez did well.
watch. Mhm.
Cat Bell stepped up, did well, but it still kind of connects to like that second outside. Hannah Maddox, when she's healthy, is typically pretty consistent as an L1. The L2 is a little streaky right now for the thrill. So great to see people stepping in and filling in and rising to the challenge there. Hopefully, we'll see more of that. Friday, we had Grand Rapids at Orlando, their first meeting.
sweet. Yeah. So in Orlando, the Valkyries won, defended their home court, took down the Rise in 4 sets. Another very close match. A lot of high quality hitting, high efficiency hitting. The Valkyries won the first set 25-20. They lost the second 21-25. And then 2 extra point sets. They won 32-30 in the third set and 27-25 in the fourth to take the match.
This was the match where on Orlando, Jill Gillen really struggled at the beginning, right?
Yes.
And I think
Well,
in the end, she hit 160 and had 13 kills, which certainly isn't terrible, but the streakiness and the
she
she had a big block in front of her, but
yeah.
that was not an immediate strength for Orlando. They prevailed, but middles hit really well in Orlando. MK White hit 479 kills. Kaz, per usual, 8 kills, 440.
Yep.
That's good to see.
Yeah. They are really connecting well. And also the middles, their blocking is so fun to watch. You need to like learn how to block. Just watch them. Just
Watch Kaz
observe.
and MK.
Take those notes.
And talk about the Orlando middles for just a second. I need to say that their celebrations are undefeated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, eyes on that stage for masterclass and blocking, getting to your setter really quickly, running fast approaches, and then turning around and celebrating with your team with like a classic, like we eaten, just a classic,
all the time.
just a really good, like arms up, saying nothing, hit me in the chest, come at
Yeah.
me, bro. Like
Yeah.
just some really good classic celebrations coming out of Orlando Middles, and we do love to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. Shina's back, but she wasn't quite performing. I don't know if that's because of her injury, but I also think before her injury, I don't know if it was really connecting. So,
She burns like very bright, you know.
uh-huh.
Shina in particular will just
Yeah.
get like an incredible kill that pumps
Yeah.
everybody up,
Yep.
and then like an error the next time,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like this back and forth a little bit.
Mhm.
But I believe she's an incredible player.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's a setter connection or a timing thing or a mentality thing. But
Mhm.
I mean, that's
that
the
was-
thing with Orlando. I feel like Omaha, Orlando just seems to me like they have a lot of different ways they can win a game, like a lot of
Mhm.
different people they can lean on. And, this game it was, Adora led them in digs and kills, and she hit 360, and sometimes that's Jill.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's a
it
great
works
point.
for them well.
They got a deep bench.
Yo,
What did
Grand
we-
Rapids had 20 service errors in 4 sets.
Yo, what?
What the hell is
That's
that?
wild.
They had 101 serves. 20 of
Outsides.
them were errors.
Outsides making up 9 of those 20. Middles with 5 of those 20.
Yeah.
It's not.
Simone. I think they eventually had her stop jumping. I don't know if it was in this match. They're running together in my head, but because she had a top spin, and I think they're like, okay, you're done. Time to.
Well, and it led to her not having a great hitting game either.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a bummer to miss a serve,
Yeah.
especially if you're
Yeah,
going all
for sure.
out for it. Ugh.
Yeah.
Momentum.
So
killer.
her hitting wasn't as reliable. Her serving wasn't as reliable. Simone Abbott. Dimitrova, 26 kills, hit 390. My God. It's like a problem
that's
when
tough is like they had 2 really big games, 2 people over 20 kills in a 4-set match.
Mm-hmm.
it's
Wow.
very difficult to produce 64 kills, 3 more kills than your opponent, and lose
Lose
in 4.
in 4.
in 4. Yeah.
Oh.
Nia Grant hit great. Nia Grant had 7 kills, hit 640, and their passing was 45% positive, which is maybe why she wasn't in the mix as much. Maren Grote also had 5 kills.
I think we can confidently say that the missed serves lost them this game. Like,
Yeah.
When you see a number like 20 and then you look at all the other stats and you're like, oh, it's not that bad. What a momentum killer.
I mean,
Yeah.
the last 2 sets they had, I think 13 combined.
Wow.
Those are sets they lost by 2 points each. Like that is
Yeah.
where it happened, right? This
Yeah.
this match, not in the last one we talked about, but this one, yes.
I am seeing teams make adjustments I know we talk about missed serves all the time. But yeah, like I said, I think they had Simone stop jumping, they had Shina stop jumping, or at least doing top spin. I think maybe they switched to a jump float.
Jump float.
I also want to say this weekend, maybe I just wasn't paying attention to it before. I feel like I've been seeing a lot more short serves,
I agree.
right? And I'm like, yeah, wait, I forgot
Yeah.
about short serves. Because I think
because they're trying to
serve
like
hard.
pummel.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the short serve,
But it's not necessarily leading to
right.
it's not necessarily leading to fewer misses
Right.
for some teams.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like I've seen it in the mix more.
Well,
That
they've
could be
had-
about
I've seen Adora do this. Her top spin serve is pretty consistent, and a couple times she'll do this. She'll take some speed off, and it just dies in front, and it's very nice.
It's nice.
Yeah. But for Ian,
I mean-
the short serve, so generally, you can imagine just the physics of it. It's going to be, it has to be a little higher and kind of like a lollipop, but the whole goal is to kind of interfere with what the offense is trying to do. And so you can, maybe the passer gets in the way and it prevents them from running a certain route, or maybe it like slows them down. And yeah, that's usually the strategy behind that.
Some traffic. I mean, they have had some like quotes from coaches being like, listen, I don't want them to not be aggressive serving the ball. I want them to go for ace. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen a lot of teams have Orlando in this game had more errors than aces, but they had 10 errors to 7 aces. They're 3 underwater. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Rise were 15 underwater.
Mm-hmm.
So like that doesn't seem like. I mean,
Okay,
again, it's
so now
and
you're
they'll make
making up.
adjustments,
Now
but
you're making up phrases.
I'm making up phrases. They're underwater. They're in the red.
Sometimes we're, talking about floods, and other times we're talking about corporate revenue. And
Mm-hmm.
it's up to you, listener, to figure out what the fuck we mean.
Yeah, you could
Perfect.
just feel it, just vibe it.
Energize it. Wait, can I go back to something?
Yeah.
Kelly, I heard you say a lollipop, referencing the serve. I have used that word also in volleyball, but why is it called that?
I don't know. That's a great point.
It's tough to analyze.
I was trying
I
to think about what a lollipop.
I think
Does it
maybe
mean easy like candy?
Yes,
What?
I think maybe it represents a child.
This is part of the segment again.
I
Well,
don't know.
maybe it comes from and there's pop-ups. You could just take the word from pop-up and be like, what else pops? Lollipops pop.
You're right, because it's a high ball that lands short. But the thing this made me think of is that I also used to do this serving strategy called the yo-yo, which is where on your first serve, you serve them deep and tough. And on your next one, you go short. And then you go deep. And then you go short. And you don't know what you're going to do next. Am I going to hit you with a yo-yo that way or this way? And I'm a little closer on understanding what that's about, because a yo-yo does go back and forth, but it's up and down. It still doesn't really make sense if you think about it. Lollipop, yo-yo, an equally childish thing, perhaps. But
listeners, this is a task for all of you to go just during your week. If you say a phrase, just stop and think, where did
The
that
hell
come
am I
from?
talking about? Yeah.
Does this make any sense?
Why do I say that?
Some self-awareness. Bring it to your verbiage. Saturday, March 2nd, Atlanta at San Diego. This was their second meeting. The first time they played, Atlanta swept.
It happened again.
It did.
This time on the other side of the country. Atlanta goes to San Diego. They take a straight set victory again. Still felt like, there was jeopardy in the match, watching it live, 2-2-point sets, but Atlanta doesn't lose those sets. They won the first 26-24. They won the second 25-20. They won the third 25-23. It's tough. The Mojo had a tough start to their last game. They came back, they made it close. They didn't play super poorly this game, but couldn't get a set off of Atlanta.
I know from the Atlanta side,
Leah Edmond was pissed. She had a negative hitting percentage the game before this.
And she said, never again.
Yeah, she hit 410 with 22 kills.
Yeah, she was ready to go. I saw that they kept Marley Monserie in for this match, which I thought was kind of a nice vote of confidence for the slightly younger setter. Just being like, yeah, that last one didn't go our way, but you can try again.
Yeah.
And I thought she did well.
Lazareva hit 330 with 20 kills as well. I think her and Leah Edmond combined to outkill the Mojo by themselves.
Yeah.
So.
And then no one else had almost any kills.
Yeah.
It was just
I guess
the Leah Anna show.
Yeah.
They're just scoring every time.
Yeah. Allie wasn't really performing, and then the middles, I don't think were really. I mean, they weren't really getting set.
No. Not a lot of attempts for the middles.
But
I'm still waiting for Yos.
Was just the first. I think if we look at the first set stats, it was 9 kills on 15 attempts. Like it was insane. It was like every time she touched the ball, it was a kill. It was amazing and really fun to watch. And I get why she got Player of the Week. Oh, another request. While we're putting them out there, I want a replay after every single point.
Oh my God, me too.
I do not.
Put it in the picture.
I do not need to watch. I do not need to watch them walk back to serve. I don't need it.
Nope. Wait, picture in picture, I only saw for one match. I feel like, and then I never saw it again.
If you want to watch them walk back, just put it in a little box.
Yeah, because there were so many kills that Lazareva had that I was like, I want to see if she's hitting
Damn.
over the block or if she's hitting
Mm-hmm.
around the block. I want to see it because I'm interested.
From the other angle.
Yes. Ah,
We need replays. We
we need
need them more
replays.
consistently. And then if there, oh, sorry, not to be picky, but if there is a
Yeah.
replay, can you cut back to the serve when the serve is happening? Like, let's just make that whole thing a little sharper.
Yeah.
Because there
Yep.
were times that the replay is played, and then we're like watching the replay a second time from a bad camera view.
Yeah.
And then cut back to the live game, we're midpoint.
Yeah.
I know we're being haters a little bit.
know.
I'm really
And
sorry.
you
We're
know what, the
criticizing.
reality-
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna give some positive though. We're gonna go
Okay.
pro, con, pro. I'm gonna end on a pro.
Okay.
Love the commercial that does a highlight of the player of the week from
Yes.
last week.
That's a cool one.
Brava. That's
Like
incredible. Putting their stats up,
Yep.
giving highlights of some of their best stuff, talk about good
Agreed.
replays. We appreciate that. We love it. Thank you for the player of the week highlight. We love that. That's hot.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, two things I noticed from the Mojo, even though
Mhm.
they lost this game, Ronica Stone still played really well, 8
Yep.
of 17,
Mm-hmm.
and Hannah Tapp blocking the ball. I think she
Yep.
had 5 that game.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, overall, I thought they passed all right. Morgan Lewis was in 7 kills, hit 110. Team hit 180 compared to Atlanta hit 230. It just kind of it felt like
In the game, it didn't feel like they were passing very well. It didn't feel like
Really?
there were many
Okay.
options. No.
Well, that's the one thing too. Like Atlanta had the 2 huge games, but like how normal is it for someone to have like Allie Linehan, I think that had almost 20 attempts, didn't notch a kill. It's a rough one.
yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Doesn't matter because
Pretty rare.
her teammates destroyed, but
Yeah. Yep. I feel pretty bad. I mean, it's connected to the same thing as the last match we talked through. She hasn't shown up since week 1 in terms of seeing what else they have on that other pin as an L2. I think they have
Yeah.
more options.
I agree.
Mhm.
But I mean, they did win this 3-0. So.
Right.
yeah, I mean in the game it didn't really matter because they're just like whatever. We'll just go
Yeah.
back to Lazareva and Leah Edmond, and
If
that's
it ain't
fine.
broke.
Working.
Yeah, but but obviously it didn't work against Omaha. They just lost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm sure the coach is pondering.
Considering. Strategizing. Sunday's match, Columbus at Orlando. They
This is a
literally
fun
just
one.
played each other, which has been happening. We had their first meeting was February 16th. Orlando took it in 4.
Yeah, this was a long one. It was really, really
Yeah.
tight the whole game, except for the first set, I guess. Columbus really came out hot. They won 25-17 in the first set. They lost the second to Orlando 21-25. They won the marathon set of the match 30-28 in the third set. Orlando won by 4 in the fourth, 25-21. And then the Fury down 3-8 in the final set, won 17-15 in that set to win the match. So
Wild.
Truly, just pierce me through the heart with that.
Yeah.
When we think about the Orlando perspective, I'm like, y'all,
they were rolling
gotta
in that
Yeah.
set.
close it. What's
know.
happening? Like what? And nothing was
yeah.
extremely different on Columbus's side, personnel wise, right? It's not like they subbed somebody in and there was a change. They just sort of started stringing plays together, and then at the end of the 5th, it was kind of tied quite a bit, right? So one team would go up 1 point, then
Yes.
they'd tie. It was a one crawl situation. It wasn't like no one strung 2 points together, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
it
that
felt
set
very
that they-
tense.
The fifth set that Columbus won, they hit 60.
Well,
I
and
mean,
so
like-
what statistically fell apart for Orlando in the 5th?
They didn't hit much. They just hit 100, but there wasn't like a rash of service errors by anyone. It was just, it was really back and forth that whole set.
I'm trying to recall.
Columbus had some big blocks, but those were more like big
But so
from
did
a timing
Orlando.
standpoint. Yeah, they were
Like,
just kind of like big moments in the set, big moments in the whole match too that would like break a run or something, but
yeah,
they weren't a ton better at
yeah.
anything at even in that individual set.
This was the match where there was like a double challenge. I think there's been a few in the league.
Yeah.
But it's like Orlando challenge, for example, like a pancake, and
Yeah, I
then
think it was a floor touch
yeah, and Columbus challenged a net call
on that
or
touch.
something.
Well, and it's like, didn't someone get the point? Why is the team that got the point challenging? Because they saw the other team challenge and they just wanted to throw it out there?
Yeah, well,
This
I
was
think they
very
were
confusing to me.
they
Yeah.
were awarded the point on a pancake. Then the other team was going to challenge the floor touch that would overturn the point. So they challenged the net touch, which would have meant the pancake never actually happened.
Right, because the net touch happened before the
Yeah,
Oh
which
yeah,
would call the
and
point
actually
dead.
they had to stop the point because they
Yeah,
called the challenge in the middle of the point,
because you have
and
which
like
you only have
5 seconds, but even
seven.
if the point is
Mhm.
going,
Yep.
so you have
yeah.
to call it.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
have to tell you,
the
Bolt.
big number in that fifth set that stands out is Columbus had 67% perfect passing,
Oh wow.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
but they
good.
only hit 60.
Yeah.
So like what the hell? Like that so they were getting it in system all the time that set. But
And maybe just created chaos on Orlando's
yeah,
side.
they just weren't killing the point necessarily.
Bolt 6 has never seen a pancake that it likes.
Oh
No.
no, I saw one. I saw one.
One.
Yeah,
One.
I think it was
Okay.
during this match actually.
Bolt 6
Um,
says, I have no syrup for you.
It's always hitting the floor.
I'm
see
uninterested in
all
this pancake
on floor.
situation. It's not breakfast in Bolt 6's life. I love pancakes though.
Yeah. There's a lot
I
of them that have. I mean, there's just
want more.
these players are so good at just going for it, you know?
They go
I
for it,
mean,
and Bolt 6
Yeah.
says, screw you.
Yeah.
that was the thing in this match was like there were a lot of points that went on way longer than they looked like they would go
Mm-hmm.
on, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of
Mm-hmm.
them hit really well, but I don't think that was because they weren't hitting well. The
Yeah.
defenses were playing really well. So
Yeah. Jill had some amazing ups. Okay, also a strange thing happened. I don't know if y'all caught this, but in the middle of Adora's serve, maybe during set two or three, I think it was three. Oh, so a fan whistled in the middle of her serve. And so of course she stopped it, but it's so funny because you just see the bench all turn
like you can
to
point that dude
to
right out. Yeah.
yeah. And I really want some closure on that. I want to know if the person got kicked out.
I don't have that kind of closure.
But they caught the
From the chat,
replay.
we had someone who was there who was able to
Oh,
confirm, yeah, it came from Columbus's fan section in Orlando.
Bitches.
Like a real whistle.
yeah, it
And
sounded like it.
everyone knew. Like everyone in
Yeah.
the whole like just looked to the Columbus section. Like you said, everyone on the bench knew. And
Yeah.
Adora like threw the ball and then like
Yeah.
caught it. Like
Yeah,
like
it was
kind
weird.
of
She
set
kind of,
it.
yeah, it was strange.
Those kinds of moments are like well, people get injured like stopping like that, in the middle of
Yeah.
your motion.
It was kind of fun. Courtney on Fury, I think she was the court captain.
Uh-huh. Was she?
But you could see her being like, "Let's replay it. We should replay it" to the ref.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And the ref's like,
We
"All
didn't have to
right."
fight about this.
Yeah. Uh, anyway.
I guess the other big number too is our kill number that we said earlier in the pod was broken by Reagan Cooper at 29 while her
Mm.
player of the week commercial was rolling during the breaks.
Oh man, she is so fun to watch. She's so good.
Yeah, 16 digs with it.
Hmm
29. Love to see, who's going to break that 30.
It's gonna happen.
It'll be the next 5-setter maybe.
Yeah.
Got to be an
Totally.
outside. They get all those attempts. But yeah, so now the record, as we mentioned, previously broken by Capel a couple days prior. Reagan Cooper said, no, you can have it for a couple days, but then it's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah. Raynell Jones looked really awesome too. 12 kills,
Mhm.
hitting 350. She had 5 blocks with it. It's pretty nice.
Love Raynell Jones.
Yeah, I think that was probably the best of the week. I think that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Monday, the last day of the week's play, we had 2 matches simultaneously. PVF, you know how much we love that. So, Atlanta at Vegas was one of the matches. Grand Rapids at San Diego was the other, both on the West Coast. Late games for, the East Coast fans to watch. But Atlanta at Vegas, that was their first meeting.
Yeah, Atlanta's still pissed from the time they got swept early in the week. And they make it 2 sweeps in a row to end their week in Vegas, their West Coast trip. They win the first set 25-16. The second set 25-18, and then the third set they had some fun. It was an extra point set. It was 26-24 to finish the game off.
This week, Atlanta said, we didn't play at all last week, but this week we'd like to play all of our matches as quickly as possible. Whatever happens. 9 sets. We're just gonna wrap this up. If we lose the first, we're gonna wrap this up. Okay, try again in a couple days. A really heavy week of volleyball for them, though. I was impressed by, 2 sweeps. Kat Bellin again on Vegas. Hannah Maddox came back in the third set. Makes me think she was just kind of like, had the flu or a cold or something.
Yeah.
I think I saw her cough a couple times. So seems like she was confirmed coughing. We've observed coughing. Haven't gotten a COVID test on her, but we've seen some coughing. And came in late in this match to try to try something. But probably still healing. Molly McCage still injured at this time. So that meant Kat Bell on the outside. We had Lane Van Buskirk and Berkeley Oblad in the middle, like the last match. Gabby Gonzalez hit well again, 15 kills, 420.
It's the bright spot.
Maybe one of the best games she's had. It's good to see.
Yeah, the rest
upward
of
trajectory.
Total, the team hit 140 against Atlanta's 310. So that's one of the larger spreads I think we've seen in a little while in a game.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Atlanta's side?
Because they changed it up to a more 3-person attack this game rather than the 2 they were going with the last time.
Yeah.
Allie Linehan did not get the start.
Yeah, as we kind of predicted in our previous analyses.
Jalarova hit 440, 10 kills on 18 attempts. That's nice.
Yes.
Next to Leah Edmond, obviously, and Anna Lazareva, the same as last game, but having a third player in there getting double-digit kills, even though it's just a 3-set match.
Give Lazareva a little bit of rest. Only let her get 12 kills instead of 20.
Yeah, efficient. I mean, Lazareva seems like she does a lot of work trying to block as well, so it's nice to get some time off, I'm sure.
The other game on this evening,
we got a Mojo win.
We got a Mojo win. Grand Rapids at San Diego. Losing to San Diego again? Yeah. I didn't watch this game. Kelly, we split this and you were watching this one. This is nuts.
This was a good one.
I want to hear the scores.
Sure. I was impressed with the Mojo, right? They came off a tough 5-set loss to start the week. Then they got swept by Atlanta. They started this game losing the first set 16-25, but then they turned it around. They won the second set 25-19, the third 25-17. They dropped the fourth 22-25, and then they won the fifth set 15-9.
Wow. I feel like they came out strong, which I think has been one of their, they haven't really been able to do that, Mojo. My biggest change, and I think this has made all the difference, is Temi Thomas Alara played right side. She absolutely crushed it.
I love that. I kind of love that.
It was the right choice. And I was so much so that I was like, did she play right side in college? And she didn't. She's listed as an outside on Wisconsin's website. And another thing that happened is she's listed as 6'6" in on the PVF website. And I was like, I know sometimes I don't think they're as tall as they are. And then I look it up and I'm like, there's no way she's 6'6". She's not. On the Wisconsin website, she's listed as 6'2", and I'm like, that feels better.
Wait, that's a
But
big
I
discrepancy.
mean, sometimes
Isn't
they'll give
that
you an
wild?
inch, but 4 inches seems
I will have to
wild.
say
Does she have a growth spurt?
Mojo's like just website in general is not really filled out, so I think there's an oversight there. But that's a little funny thing I was really
That's pretty
shocked
great.
by. But anyway, yes, she played amazing on the right side. It was fun to watch. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the middles they're running faster, and they were both connecting so well in this match, and I think that's what got them the win.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
they
what they do,
overcame two 20-plus kill games from Dimitrova and Chaussee, and they just kind of spread the ball around a little bit more, I think.
Yeah.
so what did Mojo do for outsides then?
Okay, so they had Lindsay Vanderweed, who she has been playing well. She was playing well all week. She was really crushing it. And then their other outside was, they started with Valeria Papa, and then they subbed in Grace Loberg for the rest for sets 2 through 5. And Grace Loberg
Okay.
did pretty well.
Great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, nine kills, 160.
This was the
On-
rare game without a 2-point set in it. It was just very back and forth.
We had Amelia Dimitrova and Claire Chaussee with 20 something kills,
Yeah.
Yep.
hitting
they're-
240 and 330 respectively. That's good.
Yeah, I think Simone has not played well this game or the previous one.
Hmm.
I think they're missing that second outside. Yeah, it's just you can't have one of your main players hit 10%.
Yeah, only
I
8
just don't-
kills.
Yeah.
Maybe she was off this week for sure.
Hmm.
I think they switched in the middle Nia Grant for maybe Alyssa Jensen, and the middles together really didn't have that many attempts, despite there being a 55% positive passing rate. But did it seem like
I didn't
I'm
quite
always
No, they
thoughtful
passed
about
better.
I didn't quite notice that passing was causing the problems,
yeah.
but
No, they passed better than the Mojo. It just
yeah. Yeah, I'm like recalling as I'm like, why don't I remember this game? It's because I was staring at the chat. I got so distracted.
that was the other thing that I know. I mean, Dimitrova in this match still played really well, had the 21
Mhm.
kills,
Mhm.
240. She got blocked 7 times.
Mm.
That was 7 of the 13 blocks that
Demoralizing.
that the Mojo ended up having. So they at least got some of those points back of some of her
Yeah.
hits, I guess.
That was middles, huh? Ronica and Hannah.
Yeah, they were
Yeah, Hannah Tapp had
playing
a
well.
really awesome game. She was 8 of 11 killing for 640, and she had 5 blocks. So
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, with that, in terms of the standings,
Yeah.
we have
Let's recap the standings that
Let's
we
recap.
got. We got
the
incorrect
dog
at the
pile
top.
up there.
Let's recap those standings. We have Atlanta and Omaha with 6 matches won, 3 lost apiece. Tied for first, both of them with 2-game win streaks. Columbus is 4-2 with a 4-game win streak. In the 4th
Wow.
position, Orlando is 4-5. In the 5th position, Grand Rapids is 3-4. Vegas 3-6. San Diego 2-5. Columbus continuing their hot streak.
Yep.
Yeah.
3 teams hitting over 3 teams over 500.
Mm-hmm. Can we
And
do
next
one
week-
other test real quick?
A test?
Yeah, will you type PVF into Google? What comes up first for you in Google now when you type in PVF?
It's Pro Volleyball Federation now.
It
I
is
don't
the
think it
Pro
was.
Volleyball Federation. Let's
Yeah.
fucking go. We got the video together.
It used to be PVF Industrial Pipes, Valves, and Fittings for certain.
Yep.
So is that just because we've searched it a million times, or you think that
I
like
don't know. I
we're
think
up
that
when
it-
it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up?
the zeitgeist.
Happening.
It's recognizing the Pro Volleyball Federation. Yeah, that's what I
Fantastic.
want to know. They're the Q rating of the league. It's high.
For next week's games, we've got a break, y'all.
Yeah.
We don't have anything until Saturday. It's the first time
Wow.
in a while that the weekdays have been clear of PVF action. But on Saturday, we have a triple feature. So the day game is
Triple.
Columbus at Grand Rapids, then followed by 2 matches at the same time, Vegas at Atlanta and Omaha at Orlando. That's their third meeting, to which I say sheesh.
Yeah,
But
good
Omaha has
rivalry.
taken both in 4 so far. Man, and all of these meetings between Omaha and Orlando in the same like 3 weeks. So not my favorite way to do a schedule, but here we are. And then we've got 2 matches on Monday. They're not at the same time. So the first one's Vegas at Columbus. Once again, their third meeting. And these matches all are taking place in the same 2 weeks. That was our swappy last week. Goodness gracious. So not my favorite, but that's okay. And then the second match on Monday, the 11th, is Orlando at San Diego later on that evening. So we got a lot going on. A busy Saturday.
Yeah.
Busy
For
weekend.
certain.
I was going to go to an estate sale on Saturday.
Fat chance. You got a triple feature that requires your attention, Kelly.
I'll watch some volleyball.
We at least have to separate, chat actions
Yeah.
in that second match.
Yeah. We can't miss the chat.
We can't, especially now that you're, in there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get better at the multitasking.
And I think the optimal chat and watching setup is on your laptop. Like I think I was trying to watch it on the TV and have the chat on my laptop, and it's too much.
Oh, I like that for me personally. You know what? It's all about us figuring out what our chat style is. And you got to do what works for you. And you know what else we got to do? Is getting in that password.
Yeah, because my chat style is heavy metal chat.
What does that look like?
There's a lot of capitals. There's a lot of link farming.
Ian will be yelling at everyone. That's how you know it's
Ian's
Ian.
gonna
A lot of
yell.
stuff. We're gonna be day drinking on the Saturday. Actually, no, I'm at a bachelor party, so it can't be this Saturday. My premiere can't happen this Saturday.
Your premiere
But
is
at
gonna be
some point,
Monday, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Incredible
prepare yourselves.
news. Incredible news for the Court Captains
See
community.
if I can find some volleyball memes to put in a meme folder that I can drop in the chat at good times.
It appears that we have daylight saving time is
Really?
beginning.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm
Who
losing an
fucking
hour or
knows?
gaining
As
an
you can
hour.
see, it goes from EST to EDT.
That's annoying. Thanks, PVF, for letting us know.
Eastern Daytime.
I certainly wouldn't have known. Well,
Anyway,
maybe this is how the listeners find out that daylight savings time is coming up this week.
Remember to set your clocks.
Some direction.
forward.
Spring forward. Thanks so much for listening to Court Captains, a volleyball podcast. Please give us some stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you like what you're hearing. Support small podcasts. If you don't like what you're hearing, please mind your business. And follow us on Instagram at Court Captains Pod. Email us your questions or comments, courtcaptainspod@gmail.com.
Don't forget to be the captain of your own court.
Yeah, don't forget it.
Have a great week,
Good
everyone.
advice.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.